From the Detroit Free Press, it's Monday. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
This is J.C. Reindl with the Detroit Free Press. Bicycle shops experienced a huge surge in demand after the arrival of COVID-19. But the pandemic proved a double-edged sword for a company called Detroit Bikes that makes steel bike frames and assembles its own brand of bikes. The problem was that many key bicycle parts are not made in the USA, but in China. And because of supply chain problems, Detroit Bikes couldn't import enough parts to make bikes and keep its inventory up. Detroit Bikes lost money, laid off staff, and in early January, it was purchased by a company called Cardinal Cycling Group. Cardinal Cycling plans to keep the Detroit Bikes brand alive and keep the Detroit Bike Factory open.
Reporting for the Detroit Free Press, I'm Miriam Maroney. In a mission to avoid rat poisons, residents across southeast Michigan are taking matters into their own hands. Using smoke bombs, dry ice, and snap traps, they're able to get rid of rats without putting pets and other critters at risk. This movement against rodenticide started in 2016 with Ferndale resident Lauren Mikulski. Inspired by the death of a family of owls in her neighborhood, she set out to teach others and herself how best to get rid of rats without putting other animals at risk. And thus, the Ferndale Rat Patrol Group was born. The group has grown to thousands of residents in Michigan and beyond.
I'm Dante Bedingfield for the Detroit Free Press. When the Nazis began invading Lithuania in 1941, a group of 40 intellectuals formed what they called the Paper Brigade, risking their lives to save volumes of Judaica for the next generation. They rescued books, artifacts, scrolls, photographs, artworks, diaries, and literature from the hands of the Nazis by hiding them in plain sight. Dozens of artifacts and reproductions telling the story of that effort are now on display at the Zeckelman Holocaust Center in Farmington Hills, 28123 Orchard Lake Road. The exhibit, The Book Smugglers, Partisans, Poets, and the Race to Save Jewish Treasures from the Nazis, is on display through May 31st. It's named for the book that inspired it, by David E. Fishman, a professor of Jewish history at the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.